There's also an increased interest in neurocognitive prosthetics in their ability to modulate modulate the neural functioning through implanted electrodes into the brain. Two that are currently being used are cochlear implants, here they're for hearing impairments, and deep brain stimulation, which was mentioned earlier. Two non-invasive techniques that are being developed include what's called transcranial magnetic stimulation and transcranial direct current stimulation. Okay, now let's go through some of the teaching strategies for use with students with cerebral palsy. Now, these are just some. There's a lot more out there, but here I just wanted to touch on some of the more common ones. First off, we always want to make sure that we follow the student's IEP. That's going to be critical, following that and the information that's set forth by their IEP team, other teachers that are involved, physical therapists, things like that, people like that. We want to encourage the independence of this individual. Try to help them do as much for themselves as possible. And even with that, we also want to encourage support from their fellow classmates. Let them know it is okay to help, but not just to push themselves on there, but it's okay to help out if the individual needs their help. Should remove any obstacles or any safety issues that are there that may hinder the student moving around from lesson to lesson inside the classroom. And you're probably going to use some special equipment if hopefully it's available within your school district. So that's something that you would need to talk with your administration, your principal, the special ed department may be able to help you out with that. And here, some computers, laptops, the use of adaptive keyboards for the individual if that's needed, page turners, maybe some speech software, and some word boards where there's a form of computer, there's pictures, and the student may be able to hit a button with the word, the picture, and the word there to help them communicate in the classroom. I actually had a student that used one of those in my classroom. It worked out really well for him. We're probably going to have to make some changes to our classroom. And here, number one, if the student's in a wheelchair, get larger desks so the wheelchair can fit underneath the desk. Maybe need to talk to maintenance and get chalkboards lowered, or if you use whiteboards, get those lowered. So again, if that student's in a wheelchair, we want to make them feel as home, make them feel just right at home like all the other students, and allow them to work right on the chalkboards. Maybe use easels right next to that student, or portable reading racks. That might help them. Again, we just want to make them feel at home as much as possible in our classrooms. Okay, now let's talk about some activities for children with cerebral palsy here. Physical therapy, like I've mentioned many times here, is going to be key to increase the individual's flexibility, strength, and mobility. And here we're going to work hand in hand here with a physical therapist. I know myself as a phys ed teacher, I've had many conversations with some of my students' therapists if there's anything I can do outside of their physical therapy in the classroom setting, in the weight room, in our aerobics room. We have an great aerobics room at our school with big mats that get the children out of their wheelchair and mobility and do some stretching exercises and that. So that, number one, stretching is the key. Okay, their muscles are going to be tight, their joints are going to be tight. We need them to get them up, moving around. We got to get those joints stretched out. We got to get the muscles stretched out, increase their flexibility, increase their range of motion. And along with that, we've got to get them stronger. The strength for them to support their own body, decrease their risk for injuries, getting them into maybe a weight room, a fitness center, doing some light exercises with some weights, again, based on their ability, what they can do. And again, talking to physical therapists would be a key, because getting stronger is only going to help them out. Positioning exercises or positioning activities, here getting them into positions where they're going to need to stretch and move to reach obstacles or reach other equipment. The more they move, the more they stretch, the better their flexibility is going to be, the better their mobility is going to be. It's going to become. It only is going to get better for them the more they move around. And again, it's based on their ability, what they can do, and we want to help them get better with that. And then lastly here, just do what's normal. Okay, they want to have fun, find out activities that they enjoy doing, and roll with it. They want to exercise in the pool. Let them exercise in the pool as long as you have the proper equipment, proper supervision, and training to do that. Um, Middle school students move up through muscle stretching and strengthening exercises, as well as more exercises and maybe even relaxation techniques. And for your high school students, get them more in some organized activities, community-based settings, community-based organizations, and getting them moving towards, and for all levels, elementary, middle, and high school, get them prepared to hopefully participate in a great organization. One I love working with every year is the Special Olympics. There's some other activities, and it's going to be based on each student with cerebral palsy is going to be different in their ability. So there are a range. Here's some real popular, some favorites here. Swimming is going to be a great one for them to do. Horseback riding, again, if you have the ability to do that. Bouncing on a trampoline. If the individual isn't able to support themselves standing up there and they don't have the strength to bounce, having them sit or lie on the trampoline and have another individual bounce alongside them on the trampoline so they can get that sensation of bouncing and moving there. They're going to love doing that. Swimming on adaptive swings. Great, gives them that sensation moving back and forth. Sliding down a slide, use of mats to help them slide down there, support them, move them through. Great sensations for them to feel. And just games, let them play. Getting adaptive equipment, and we can get into a whole range of that. I'm not going to get into that with this presentation, but the adaptive equipment that's out there, larger pieces of equipment, larger balls, the use of static tees or static equipment, having balls static on the ground instead of rolling a ball at them. They let them kick the ball that's on the ground, hitting balls off of a tee, things like that. In basketball, baskets that are lowered down to their level or wheelchair level, adapting that. So and the list can go on and on there. And the possibilities are endless to get them involved in games that they can play. And again, let's not forget about the Special Olympics, and one that I keep mentioning it. I love getting my students ready to participate in the Special Olympics. One of the best things that we do. Okay, and lastly here, on the last slide here, let's move over to my teaching activity that I came up with here. So hopefully you'll be able to try this in some of your classes. So as we've learned throughout the presentation here, that cerebral palsy greatly affects a person's motor ability. And rehabilitation is critical for their quality of life. Students affected with CP, as will all of your other students, also greatly benefits from some mental training, not only physical therapy. Here I found 2 links to websites that will provide your students with great opportunities to strengthen their minds. The first offers a personalized brain training program. It's going to ask you a couple different questions. I've gone through it. I've done it for myself. Ask you some questions, and based on your responses to these questions, as far as what part of your mental ability or memory, so to speak, memory recall, things like that you want to work on, it's going to develop a personal program for you to follow. The only problem with this one is you have a free trial period, but there is a option to purchase an enhanced version of this that enables you to go month to month, or even you can spread it out for a whole year and do some brain training for the whole year. The second one here is a site with a huge variety of different games. This one's completely free, and your students don't need to log in anything, create any kind of accounts. They can go in and pick and choose what type of brain games they want to play. Sudoku puzzles, crossword puzzles, brain teasers, riddles, things like that. And they can go in here, play these games, hopefully have some fun, and do some brain training in the process. So that's the most important thing here. They want to have fun while they're learning, or they don't even think of it as learning. They're having fun playing some games here. And that one's right on that link. Again, it's 100% free. And hopefully you'll be able to utilize these in your classes, utilize them yourself. I know I'm going to give them a try this year with my upcoming classes, and hopefully you were able to get some good information here about cerebral palsy from my presentation. Thank you.